Good morning, everybody. I'm Alice. I am filling in for Sarah Joy this morning as she is away now on her sabbatical. We'll wait just another minute or two as others sign in. Just going to make sure view of the mat is okay back there, the light. So names and faces are looking familiar. I am a longtime student of Sarah Joy's. I did the 200-hour training with her about 12 years ago, and I'm currently in the 300-hour training with Carol, who taught yesterday, and Peggy and Teresa, who are here as well. Yeah, so we're going to be continuing with our focus on the chakras. Carol beautifully led us through a practice focusing on the first chakra yesterday. So I was going to continue with that and begin to venture into the second chakra. One of the things that I have been thinking about through the course of this immersion time has been the opportunity for retroactive healing, especially at the levels of the first and second chakra. And one of the things I've been really drawing strength and comfort from is reflecting on individuals I encountered early in my life. They may not have been big parts of my life, but they were people who were influential in ultimately directing me towards a healing path, which I've found in yoga. And specifically, one of the individuals that I thought of, in addition to teachers and coaches that I had long-standing relationships with, was a woman who worked at a music camp that I attended for a few years when I was in middle school. She was just tremendously kind, and her name was Essie Ewart. And I remember specifically one afternoon, we had free time after lunch, and she invited me and a few other campers to participate in a body scan with her. And that was my first introduction to a mind-body practice, and planted a seed so that as I was introduced to mindfulness and other related practices closer to adulthood, I remembered how meaningful that short experience was. Anyway, I grew up in Portland, and I just happened to notice over the weekend that Essie passed away at 93 after a long and full life. So anyway, I'm just, very touched thinking about all the lives that she must have touched. And I invite you during your practice this morning, especially in seated meditation, just to reflect on individuals who might have meant something to you towards, guiding you towards a healing path, even as you might have faced challenges in your childhood, earlier in life, or in adulthood. So I'm going to step back to my mat to sit with you all. I know Sarah Joy likes to be up close to the camera, but I'm a little bit more precarious on a little tower of blocks here. So come to a comfortable seat. Oh, I'm going to take this to the speaker here, excuse me. There we go. Good. And as you settle in for your seated practice this morning, position your hands comfortably in your lap. And you can make the choice either to lightly close your eyes or softly rest your gaze on the floor out in front of you. And as you begin to guide your awareness away from the activities of waking, resist the temptation to jump ahead to what might be on the agenda for you later in the day. You need to anchor your awareness in the present by attending to sensations, sounds, rhythms of your breathing. And let your breath be subtle here, passing quietly in and out through your nose. And with your breath as your companion, begin to settle more deeply into your seat. Allow your sitting bones to release downwards into the earth. Sense any points of your legs and feet that are in contact with the floor, ground beneath you. And as you keep connected to the stability of your base, draw up gently through the crown of your skull. Sit up to your full height. Sense the spaces increasing between one vertebra and the next. As you continue to sit tall, partner with your next few out breaths to ease your shoulders down away from your ears. Now you can begin to contemplate your first chakra. Once again, rest your awareness in your sitting bones as they connect with your mat, blanket, or block. Sense any subtle movements of your sitting bones, your pelvic floor, throughout the course of each breath cycle. You might place your hands in the mudra that represents the first chakra, with your thumbs and index fingers touching one another, palms faced up on your thighs or your knees. Well-balanced first chakra is characterized by feelings of connection, belonging, rootedness, being a part of a tribe. You might sense the extent to which you're being nurtured in your first chakra through your participation in the tradition of yoga, through the many years you may have practiced, and more immediately through this particular sangha that we are privileged to be a part of. And recognize that part of every human experience is the occasional or persistent disturbance of the first chakra by feelings of isolation or disconnection, sometimes upwellings of fear, even terror, coming back from maybe our earliest unconscious memories. Just set your intention this morning, as with every yoga practice, of helping to release those residues. Helping to restore your first chakra and refresh your sense of being part of the human family. And I invite you also to just reflect back on individual or community that may have helped impart those feelings of belongings in you in early life. You might imagine that individual or individuals kindly observing you as you sit here now and throughout your practice this morning, and indeed as you go about your day. And then begin to guide your awareness upwards into your low belly, the region of your second chakra. You can shift your mudra to let your fingertips and the tips of your thumbs touch one another in front of your navel, making a small oval. And reflect momentarily on the qualities of a well-balanced second chakra. Associated with the water element, fluidity, adaptability, grace, having the curiosity and the courage to begin to venture out into the world, pursue adventures, made possible with the security that's established the well-balanced first chakra. And again, just be aware that you're not alone. All humans share the experience of unmet needs, unacknowledged losses, unprocessed emotions, muddying the waters of the second chakra. And with a sense of gratitude, reflect on the myriad of ways that yoga tradition practices that we've been sharing through this immersion can help support you in finding better and better balance within your second chakra. And again, imagine your benevolent observer, your SE stand-in, smiling upon you, wishing you well. As you seek to bring your vitality and sense of playfulness into the world. Then you can return both hands to your lap. As you're ready, open your eyes, and we'll bring in a bit of movement here. With your hands resting on your lap, inhale to sweep your gaze up, lift your chin, find a bit of a cow pose spine. Exhale, sweep your gaze down and in as you tuck your chin, round your spine, gaze in towards your belly. And alternate back and forth. Inhale into extension. Exhale into spinal flexion. And each time your gaze sweeps up and out, take in your surroundings. And with each out breath, each time your gaze comes down and in, think of reconnecting with the stability of your base, the strength within yourself. Move with the rhythm of your own breath. Couple more times. As you continue, I'm going to close the window because I'm remembering it's garbage day. And then as you settle into stillness, and just reflect on the reverberations of that movement, I'm reaching to close the other open window. And now interlace your fingers behind the back of your head, elbows wide, and take a moment of positional pranayama as you breathe softly in and out through your nose. In this position with your arms up above your lungs and heart, it helps quiet the sympathetic nervous system and bias us towards ventral vagal, parasympathetic activation, helping us be calm and relaxed. We'll begin some rotations of the head and spine here. Keep your fingers interlaced behind your head, elbows wide. Inhale, sit tall, and exhale, sweep your gaze and begin to turn slightly to your right. Inhale back through center, and then exhale, sweep your gaze and turn your torso slightly to the left. And again, continue on your own rhythm, just some subtle rotations here. Explore leading the movement with your gaze, with your eyes first, and letting your shoulders, your rib cage, your waist follow. And enjoy the ever shifting view that you're getting as you scan your surroundings. Even as you stay rooted between the connection between your sitting bones and the earth beneath. And then settle back into the center, release your arms back down to your lap. And once again, draw your awareness inwards. Notice what's percolating in the aftermath of those rotations. Then rest your right hand beside you and inhale your left arm up overhead. Bend your left elbow and place left fingertips just above your right ear. And draw your left ear towards your left shoulder. Connect with your breath here. Let the heel of your right hand be heavy towards the earth. Breathe into any sensations across the top of your right shoulder, the right side of your neck. Notice your sideways view of the world. And then trace your fingertips across the crown of your skull and guide your head back up to center. Do you lower your left arm down? Pause momentarily. Be curious about different sensations in these moments between the right and left sides of your neck and the tops of your shoulders. And then transition to the second side, sweeping your right arm up, draping it across the top of your head, and draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. And oppose that by pressing the heel of your left hand down towards the earth. And then use your right fingertips to guide your head back upright. Return your right hand down to your side. Reflect for a moment or two to experience the echoes of that particular stretch. And then inhale your left arm up overhead and take a side bend to your right. You can gaze up towards the ceiling past your right elbow. Let's add some head rotations here. So as you exhale, sweep your gaze and turn your head down and to the right. Inhale, sweep your gaze and turn your head up and left. And continue those rotations on your own rhythm. Take in your surroundings as you go. Noticing that all the while you're resting in the stability of that firm connection between your sitting bones and the earth. Then you can bring your head to center and inhale back upright. Lower your left arm down. Be attentive to the differences in these moments between left and right sides. What sensations are present in your left side waist as compared to the right side waist. And then with an inhalation, sweep your right arm up and take your side bend to the left. Keep your right sitting bone in particular rooted towards the earth. You can begin with your gaze up past your right elbow. And now add in the head rotations. Exhale, turn your gaze and your head down and to the left, and inhale, back up to the right diagonal. Move with your smooth, steady breath. And then bring your head to center. Lower your right arm down as you bring your torso back upright. And notice what you notice. And come into a twist here. You can clasp your fingers in front of your heart. Release the weight of your sitting bones towards the earth as you draw up through the crown of your skull. And then begin to sweep your gaze and turn your head, shoulders, and rib cage over to the left, gazing out over your left shoulders. You can place the back of your right hand to the outside of your left knee and your left fingertips down on the ground behind you. As you keep your right sitting bone rooted here, just take in the perspective of the space behind you, whether you're indoors or out. And now exhale your way back to center. Notice the effects of that asymmetrical twist. And as you're ready, clasp your fingers in front of your heart once more. Root down through your sitting bones as you lift through your crown. And this time sweep your gaze and begin to turn head, shoulders, rib cage, and belly to the right. And lower your hands down to support. With your left sitting bone anchored towards the earth, what has come into view as you're gazing out over your right shoulder? And with your next out breath, unwind, return to center. And sit quietly for a moment or two, scanning your internal landscape. And before we rise up to a standing practice, let's take a few moments in Chandra Vedana. So you're going to place your right hand as you would for Nadi Shodhana, curling right fingers in towards your palm. And with this practice, you're going to inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right. This is a practice that helps stimulate right hemisphere activation in the brain, helps balance out our societal tendency to be more left brain. So as you seal off your your right nostril, inhale left. And then change seal as you exhale right. Alternate sides, breathing softly, your own rhythm. Feels comfortable to you, you can allow slight pause after inhalation and exhalation. As you continue with this practice for a moment, I'll just offer that one of the things that stuck with me from Sarah Joy's recent teachings is that one reason many of us tend to veer towards left brain activation is that it can serve to protect us from the unmet needs, the unresolved emotions that can sometimes be more inclined to bubble up when the right brain is online. We're seeking through our practices to allow ourselves to sometimes feel those uncomfortable emotions and allow opportunity for resolution. So with that in mind, take a couple more rounds. And then as you're ready, return your right hand to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. Reflect how these simple movement practices and the Chandra Vedana practice Might be instilling some shifts and change in your mind, body, and heart. And then you can open your eyes if they're closed and rise up to standing. We'll move into a more active part of our practice. As you come up to your feet, shake out. You've been sitting for a little while. And let's get the blood flowing with the breath of joy that Sarah Joy has talked about, first learning through Harold and Maud specifically. Place your feet perhaps a bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Soften your knees and place your hands into fists. Your palms faced in towards your thighs. Before you begin, feel the firm connection between the soles of your feet and the earth. And exhale to let your sitting bones sink towards the earth. Feel that first chakra energy. And then you're going to be taking small inhalations in through your nose as you inhale to shoulder height. Inhale wide, inhale up, and then exhale through your mouth. So you can begin with me. 3 or 4 more times. Next time you are bowed forward, just stay down like a rag doll for a few breaths. You might notice elevation in your heart rate, your breath rate. And keep your upper body nice and relaxed, your feet stable on the earth as you roll up one vertebra at a time, ragdoll style. And when you arrive back up in a standing position, heel toe your feet together as you make your way to mountain pose. And notice how the energy has shifted in your body through the breath of joy. And now you can join your palms in front of your heart. We'll move into a version of Surya Namaskar. Find your stability in mountain pose as you press the pads of all 10 toes, your inner and outer heels into the earth. Allow your knees to be slightly soft as you release your sitting bones to the pull of gravity and stand tall through your spine. And stay rooted through the base of your pelvis and the soles of your feet as you inhale your arms down, wide, and up overhead. Lift your gaze. And then take your arms out into a wide shape, like you're widening your view. And exhale, sweep your arms wide as you bow over your thighs. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Your hands connect to the blocks or the floor. And taking in your feet's connection to the earth. And inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Sweep your gaze and heart forward. And as you exhale, step your right foot back behind you. You're in a low lunge here. Lower your back knee and the top of your back foot. Find stability through your left footprint, your right shin, the top of your right foot, and inhale to Anjaneyasana, your kneeling lunge. Gaze skywards. And take your arms out into the wide shape, again, like you're opening curtains, widening your view. Sense yourself both rooted to the earth and scanning the skyline. And then exhale, bow forward, touch your fingertips down and return to your runner's lunge, or low lunge. Reconnect with the stability through your feet and inhale to your crescent lunge. Again, open the curtains, sliding your hands apart into the Y shape. You're rooted and you are taking in the view. And then exhale, bow it forward and step your left foot back to a strong plank pose. And then lower your knees down to table. We'll do some cycles of cat-cow here. Inhale to cow pose, exhale to cat. Sense the stability through your hands, your shins, and the tops of your feet. Creating stable base as you have a small and familiar adventure with your spine. And notice the shifting view, what you see from moment to moment as you cycle from cat to cow and back again. Good, and then make your way into a neutral table. Tuck your toes and press your hips up and back. Come to downward facing dog. Sense both hands and both feet firmly connected to the earth. So you lift your sitting bones, the back of your pelvis skywards. And then with an inhalation, sweep your right leg up behind you, your one-legged dog. And then swing your right foot forward between your hands, pivot your back heel down. Create your stable base as you press down through right footprint, inner and outer edges of your left foot, and inhale your way up to warrior two. Do you release the weight of your sitting bones towards the earth and lengthen through your crown? With your feet rooted, inhale to straighten your right knee, gliding your pelvis back towards the wall behind you. And then exhale, bend your right knee, returning to warrior two. And repeat that for several rounds on your own rhythm. Contemplate how the stability at the base of your pose allows for smooth, fluid movement upstream. You are a graceful, dynamic warrior. And then settle back into stillness in warrior two. With the knowledge that you are not a statue, you are not an inanimate object. Any moment you could spring back into action. Good, and then with an exhalation, step your left foot forward.
Take a deep bow over your thighs, returning to Uttanasana, honoring your connection to the earth. And inhale, sweep your arms wide as you rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze skyward. Take your arms out into the Y, widening your view, parting the curtains. And then slide your hands back down to your heart as you bring your chin to level. Let's pause for a moment before we shift into the second side. And as you're ready, inhale your arms down, wide, and up overhead. Here we are in Urdhva Hastasana once more. With your beginner's mind, slide your hands apart into the Y. Expand your view, and then exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana, touching in to your respect for the earth. And inhale, open the window, gaze and heart forward. Exhale, step your left toes back behind you. Lower your back knee down, as well as the top of your back foot. And make your way to Anjaneyasana. Gazing upwards, parting the curtains. Sense the simultaneous stability through the sole of your right foot, your left shin, the top of your left foot, and your heavy sitting bones. The sense of openness and curiosity through your gaze and your upper body. And then exhale, fold inwards, bow over your front thigh, tuck your back toes, come to your low lunge, and then all the way up to your crescent lunge. As you root and lift, part the curtains, expand your view. You're both rooted to the earth and curious about what's around and above you. And now exhale, bow forward, plank pose, and then lower your knees into table. We'll take a small adventure here into bird dog. In preparation, shore up stability in your table pose. You spread your fingers wide, position your hands beneath your shoulders. Press the pads of all 10 fingers and the heels of your hands firmly into the earth. Root down through your knees, the tops of your feet. And enliven your center by drawing the crown of your skull and your sitting bones in opposite directions. Feel the firm support at the base of your belly. And as you're ready, inhale, left arm and right leg up away from the mat. Appreciate the support through the firmness of your right palm, your left lower leg and foot against the earth. You're pushing down into the earth as you're simultaneously reaching out through left fingertips and the sole of your right foot. You might sense a bit of instability being on 2 limbs rather than 4. And yet you're holding firm. And then exhale, return to table. Notice what occurs in your body in response to that first side of bird dog pose, And then once again, partner with your exhalation to shore up your table pose, your firm connection to the earth, your long spine, the tone at the base of your belly. And when you're ready, inhale, right arm and left leg up away from the earth. Appreciate your left palm, right shin and lower leg supporting you, holding you secure and steady, even as you reach with curiosity through your right fingertips and your inner left heel. Good, and then touch those two airborne limbs down, back in table pose. Sense the stillness and stability that comes with having all four limbs, all four legs of the table beneath you. And then tuck your toes. Make your way to downward facing dog. Gaze back at your feet. Notice their connection to the earth, even as you feel the connection between your hands and the mat beneath. And then come to your one-legged dog pose. Sweep your left leg up behind you, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. And swing your left leg forward, pivot back, heel down, and make your way to warrior two. Feel the firm support through your right footprint and left. Find length through your spine. And inhale as you glide your left knee straight. Make sure not to hyperextend. And exhale, glide back to that bent knee, warrior two. And transition back and forth. Explore the capacity for the stableness through the base of your pose to allow smooth, graceful movement further upstream. Good, and then next time your left knee is bent, hold warrior two for a breath or two. And then cartwheel your hands forward. Bow deeply over your thighs. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. And inhale, rise. Slide your hands apart into the Y shape. And exhale, as your chin comes to level, return your hands to your chest. Let's be with your body for a few moments in mountain pose. We'll move into a second round of sun salutations. So you inhale your arms down and up overhead. Bring your palms together. So you root down through the soles of your feet and your sitting bones. Reach skywards with the crown of your skull and your fingertips. You anchor base of your shoulder blades towards your back waistband. And with an exhalation, side bend to your right. Inhale up through center and exhale, side bend left. Sway side to side on your own rhythm. Contemplate the experience of holding steady through your feet, your legs, and your pelvis. Even as you're experiencing the fluid side bending through your torso, your head, your arms. Good, and then pause with your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, take your arms wide and bow over your thighs. Here's your Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, right toes back behind you. Find the stability through your left foot, right toes and ball of your foot, and inhale straight to your crescent lunge this time. Place your left hand on your left hip. Reach up through your right fingertips and side bend to your left. You breathe here for a moment or two. Just notice how you can depend on the stability in your legs, your feet, and your pelvis. I'm going to accommodate this side bend in your upper body. And then inhale back up to neutral. Exhale, bow forward. Make your way to plank. And then lower your knees down. Back in table pose here. Feel your palms, tops of your feet, and your knees supporting you on the earth. Keep your left toes connected to the mat as you straighten your left knee. And then pivot your inner left heel down to the mat. And inhale, left fingertips skyward. And then sweep your left hand past your left ear. Feel into the three limbs that are supporting you here. And then make your way in to a floor version of half moon. So begin to shift your body weight forward, right shoulder over right wrist, and then elevate your left leg as you sweep your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Appreciate how your right fingertips, palm, knee, shin, and top of your foot are providing your stability, even as your left arm and left leg are elevated. Good, and then lower back down to table pose. Notice what muscles were just working, what muscles were just skywards. And then come to downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg back behind you and then forward between your hands. So you make your way back to warrior two. And inhale, rising warrior. Exhale to supported side angle. Make your way back and forth between the two. And once again, appreciate the firm support you're receiving through your feet, your legs, and your pelvis, even as your upper body is moving with fluidity and grace. Good, and then make your way back to warrior two. And if you wish, you can come to the standing version of half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, as you scoot your left foot forward. And then take your left toes and left hand up towards the ceiling, your right fingertips down towards the earth. Appreciate the strength and support in your left foot. Right foot and right fingertips. And then bend your left knee and glide your left foot back to the earth, back to warrior two. Step forward, with your left foot and bow deeply. If you are practicing half moon, feel the echoes of that responsibility through your right foot and leg. And then sweep your arms wide. Urdhva Hastasana once more. Slide your hands apart. And exhale, hands back to your heart. We'll come to the second side. As you inhale your arms down and up overhead. Once again, let your palms meet. Root down through your footprints and exhale, side bend to your right and hold here for a handful of breaths. With intention, root down through the sole of your left foot and your left sitting bone. They're holding you steady even as your upper body is side bending to your right. And then smoothly inhale back through center, root down through your right foot, right sitting bone as you side bend left. Beautiful. And then inhale back up to center. Sweep your arms wide and bow over your thighs. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, left toes back behind you. Establish security through the soles of your feet. And then inhale. Crescent lunge. Right hand to right hip and side bend to your right. Your legs and feet are your pillars of support, even as you're side bending with your upper body. And then inhale back to your crescent lunge. Bow over your front thigh. Find plank pose and table. Take a moment to establish the integrity of your table pose through your hands, your lower legs and feet, by creating length in your spine and tone in your belly. As you keep your right toes on the mat, straighten your right knee, pivot inner right heel to the earth, and find your left or your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then come to your floor version of half moon. Appreciate how you can rely on left hand, left arm and shoulder, as well as your left hip, thigh, shin, and foot. Good, and then lower your right toes down, make your way back to table. Tuck your toes, find downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes skyward, relinquishing one pillar of support, and then sweep your left foot forward, pivot back, heel down, and rise to warrior two. Spin your left palm skyward and inhale, rising warrior. Exhale, supported side angle, flow back and forth. Good. And then settle into warrior two, making sure I'm not going to hit any obstructions. And if you wish, you can take the adventure of scooting your right foot forward and coming to half moon. As you gaze down towards your left foot, appreciate the support you're receiving through left foot, shin, thigh, hip. As your right foot and hand are reaching out into the world. And then with an exhalation and leadership, smoothly bend your left knee as your right toes return to the floor. Warrior two. And then step forward with the right foot and exhale, deep bow. And one last time, sweep your arms wide. Come to Urdhva Hastasana. Slide your hands apart, taking in that view of the sky. And then exhale, hands to your heart, back in mountain pose. And close your eyes or softly rest your gaze. You can notice the stability through your pelvis and your feet. The strength of your legs, even as you might be experiencing some dynamic activity of elevated heart rate, perhaps breath rate. Notice the patience of your legs as those respiratory and circulatory systems slowly make their way back towards homeostasis. And then as you're ready, you can open your eyes, sweep your arms wide, and then step your feet out. You roughly to place your feet beneath the heels of your feet beneath the heels of your hands, finding that roughly one leg length difference, the isosceles triangle that Sarah Joy talks about. You can bring your hands to your hips. Find firm connection between the soles of your feet and the mat beneath. Lengthen through your crown. And as you're ready, hinge forward at your hips. Pause with your torso parallel to the earth. And then you can release your hands down towards your mat and bow over your thighs. We'll take a few moments in Prasarita. Mindfully sense the texture of the mat beneath the sensitive skin of the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands and your fingertips. Sense gravity drawing the crown of your skull, perhaps imperceptibly closer to the earth. You don't have to urge that process along or rush it. You're just cooperating with gravity's downward tug. Then you can place your hands on the tops of your thighs. Soften your knees and press your torso back upright. Heel toe your feet together. And come to mountain pose. Once again, experience the texture of the mat beneath the soles of your feet. Perhaps your heartbeat against your thumbs. Feel the points of contact where left and right hand and fingers are touching one another. And then come down onto your mat. Position both feet over towards the right. You can place your right fingertips in front of you and left fingertips behind as you inhale and sit tall. And exhale to sweep your gaze and turn your head to the left, gazing out over your left shoulder. You can place the back of your right hand to the outside of your left knee. The seated twist is called Bhadvadrasana, Sage's pose. Let your breath be quiet and smooth here, in and out through your nose. As you maintain the twist with an exhale, sweep your gaze and turn your head down and to the right. So you're looking down towards your right knee. Added a bit of a side bend to your right here. Good, and then inhale to bring your chin and head back to center. Unwind your twist. Swing your legs through center and over to your right side. Nestle left kneecap in the instep of your right foot. And to initiate the twist, place your left fingertips in front of you, the right fingertips behind. As you root down through your right sitting bone, inhale, find your long spine, and exhale, sweep your gaze and turn your head, shoulders and ribs to the left. Take in the view behind you. And then as you're ready, with an exhalation, sweep your gaze left. Turn your head so you're looking down towards your left knee. Now, as you bring your chin to level, unwind the twist and make your way into a simple Shavasana. As you settle in here, sense the points of contact between the backs of your heels and the earth. Feel the temperature of the air against your feet. Sense the soles of your feet in this moment, that they're non-weight bearing. Notice any sensations in the interior of your feet that are available to you right now. Maybe tingling or warmth. Glide your awareness up into your ankles. Notice the touch of the air against the skin of your ankles if they're bare. Sense the bony structure beneath the skin. Be present with any areas of your calves that are in contact with the mat beneath you. Notice the present moment experience along the surface of your shins. And then take your attention in deeper. Notice the muscles, the blood flow. What sensations are present for you deep within your lower legs? Take your awareness up into your knees. Explore your kneecaps, the backs of your knees. See what you might experience of the intricate structure of the joints within. And now bring this exploration up into your upper legs. Notice the backs of your thighs. Are any parts of them touching the floor beneath? Or are they lifted away from the floor? I feel any areas where you're aware of the touch of your clothing against the skin of your thighs. Sense the firm structure of your femurs within your upper legs. Bring your quiet curiosity into the weight of your pelvis against the mat beneath you. Be curious about whether in these moments you can sense the influence of the breath on your pelvic floor, the structure of your pelvic bones. An exploration we made early in the class during our seated practice. And bring your awareness into your low belly. Low back. Sense the region of the second chakra, water element. And then you can guide your awareness up through your solar plexus and your trunk, your shoulder blades as they rest against the earth. Please sense the experience of your hands and arms, collarbones, neck and face. The weight of your head as it rests against your mat. I'm going to spend just a few moments in silence here, quietly observing your body lying here, absorbing the benefits of your practice. You might imagine your benevolent observer, your Essie Ewart, smiling as she watches you rest. Without rushing, wiggle your fingers and toes a bit. Bend one knee and then the other, and softly roll to one side. And again, without hurrying, press the palms of both hands into the earth as you press back into an upright seat. And sit quietly again briefly. We'll sit together for a few moments as we close our practice. And bring your hands to heart center. And namaste. Thank you for sharing practice with me this morning and for the immersion throughout the summer. I'm going to come up to say hi. Thanks, Kathleen. We'll go to gallery here. All right. Oh, thank you, Janine. So how are you guys doing? Oh, thanks, Peggy.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Kathy.
I really like that, the open the curtains. Yeah, that image was really, I liked it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so
Widen my
subtle, but
view.
it really does feel like it's,
Yeah, it's like, oh, and that widened my view. It was really beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
I couldn't resist the body scan at the end. That was for Essie.
That was great. That was a deep shavasana. I felt
Oh,
really
good. Yeah, I had one eye on the clock and I was like, oh, wait, hurry. They've got places to go, but yeah. Well,
I have one question for Bella. Are you the one that sent the image of the mudras with the chakras to Sarah Joy? Could I put my email in the chat and have you email that to me so I could share it with my teacher trainers?
You bet.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you, Alice, for a beautiful class with a deep focus sustained throughout, with a really beautiful sequence and pacing, and just very, very rich and deep and thorough. really nice.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. And thanks again for starting us off last week on our adventure together while Sarah Joy is rejuvenating. So Peggy, who's here, is actually teaching tomorrow and Friday, and I'm teaching Thursday. And there are more people lined up for, the coming weeks. So anyway, hope to continue to, have opportunities to all practice together. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
See you again soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Did she get it?
Kathy,
Yeah.
I don't have a pen to write it down. The chat's gonna
Oh.
disappear. Can I give
Yeah.
you mine? Mine is
Yeah.
super.
Yeah.
So it's my given name, which is Marcella with
Okay.
2 L's. And
Uh-huh.
then my last name is Box,
Okay.
B-O-X,
Yeah.
DC, chiropractor, DC at
Mhm.
gmail.com.
Okay. Marcella Box DC at gmail.com.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye, ladies.